Welcome to Website Design Made Simple, the podcast for busy small business owners who want a high performing website that converts and sells their offers, even while they're sleeping. Because you deserve to have a strategic and beautiful website that truly represents your brand and positions you as the expert that you are. I'm your host, Jenny B., web designer and creative director at Jenny B Designs, where we believe that your website is the one thing that makes you sales and builds your brand at the same time. Ready to say goodbye to a website that you're embarrassed to share? And hello to a money-making, personality-packed powerhouse? Let's head into today's episode. Here's the hard truth. When it comes to your website, if you build it, they won't necessarily come. So what should you do? In today's episode, I'm going to share 11 ways to drive traffic to your website to boost sales. Picture this with me. You've invested a fair amount of time either working with a designer like me or creating a website all by yourself. It looks amazing, it's user-friendly, and it showcases your products or your services beautifully. But as the days go on, you just aren't getting that much traffic. It's kind of like crickets, and it happens to all of us. Here's the thing, your website is one of many in the online marketplace. And without foot traffic, even the best physical stores will struggle to make sales. You need feet in the door. And this is the same for your website. You need traffic to your online marketplace. And honestly, traffic isn't just important, it's absolutely essential for the success of your business. Increased traffic means more potential clients, higher brand awareness, better search engine rankings, SEO, and ultimately more sales and more revenue. It really is that lifeline of your online business strategy. Today, I've come up with 11 ways to boost your website traffic and get those feet in the door. Before we get started, just a quick refresher on who I am. I'm Jenny B. I own Jenny B Designs. We are a brand and web design studio, and I love helping small business owners really shine online, bring out your true unique brand personality, and build an online presence, a website that reflects your high quality services. And I like to do this as quickly and efficiently as possible. My builds take 4 weeks from start to finish, and I guide you through the entire process. So that's a little bit about me. And let's get started on the 11 ways you can boost your website traffic. First way, put your website on everything. And this sounds easy enough, but so often we forget to put our website on everything. Let's talk about what I mean by everything. There is such an importance of being visible out and about. And I know we are out there meeting people and chatting with folks online and in person, and we're always chatting, or we should be, about our business. And when we are sharing about our business, at the same time, we want to be sharing our website, our web address, because frankly, that's where people are going to be able to find out more about us. When you meet someone online or you meet someone in person, you have that memory of that connection. And, oh, I met Jenny at this business meeting and I know she does websites and I just want to find a little bit more about her. Where do you go? You go to that person's website to learn more about them and how you can get in contact with them and to take the next step. And when I say put your website on everything, I mean business cards, such an important one. And I know most of you are doing this, but if you don't have it, make sure you're including it there. Your email signatures. So when you're emailing with people that you meet, make sure at the bottom of that email, you have your website listed so that someone can go and find it, especially if you aren't using a branded email address. Meaning for me, my email is jenny@jennybdesigns.com. But in the case that I wasn't using jennybdesigns.com and I maybe just had a regular Gmail address, that it makes it so much more important to have your actual website listed in your email signature. This also includes in your social media profiles, making sure that on Instagram that you are linking people back to your website, that you don't have a link out to some random place. Like, for example, sometimes I see people linking to a Calendly link to have a connection call with them, and that's the only link they link to in their Instagram bio. What that means is when I'm clicking on that, I actually can't get to their website, so I can't find out more about them. If you want someone to book a call with you, then maybe perhaps create a branded link tree where you can list your website and book a call. But make sure that you have your website listed in those social media profiles. And then making sure that you mention it everywhere on this podcast. Prime example. I'm chatting with you right here, and I want to be making sure that I'm sharing my website, jennybdesigns.com. That's where you can go to learn more about me. So if you have a podcast, and making sure that you are linking to it. Here's another example. I sponsored one of my kids' softball leagues, their team, and I had my name as a sponsor on the back of the shirts, but I also had the website because that's the whole point, right? We want to drive people back to your website, get more traffic whenever you can. So that's strategy number 1, put your website on everything. Strategy number 2 is you want to offer value to potential and existing clients. Let's talk about the potential clients. And this kind of goes back to what I was mentioning in strategy 1. Potential clients, you are linking to in your social media profile, hopefully a branded Linktree page. And when I say branded Linktree page, I mean not using Linktree itself, but actually creating a page on your own website that has all the links that you want people, your potential clients, to be able to access. When you do this, when you link to a page on your website, you're driving traffic to your website. But when you link to a link tree or a stand store or something like that that is not owned by you, you're losing that traffic. People aren't going to your website. So making sure that you have a branded links page through your social media or in your email signature or whatever you share out for easy access for your potential clients for multiple resources. Another resource for potential clients is an FAQ page. That is a great thing that you can link to. You're having a conversation with a potential client over email. You can link to your FAQ page. You're driving them to your website and driving traffic to that website. That's a great way to do it. If you have videos, perhaps you have some videos that are answering frequently asked questions. Add a blog post about that, about the frequently asked questions, and drive people to that when you're having the conversation. For those existing clients, you can do a number of things. I always encourage, if you can, having a portal for your existing clients on your website where they can do things like pay their bills online. If you have a care plan like I do, so I offer ongoing care for the websites I design, I have a care plan sign up page on my website that I'm sending to my existing clients as soon as they finish their engagement with me. I'm driving people to that care plan sign up page. If you have a contract, maybe it's a standard contract or a sign up for your group program that's specifically for people who are going to renew with you, perhaps, send them to that page on your website. Think about ways that you can use your website for more than just showcasing your services and products. Have it work for you, have it serve your existing clients. And by doing so, you are doing 2 things. You are strengthening that relationship with your existing clients, creating a better user experience for them, but you're also driving traffic, which helps everything that I mentioned before. And it boosts that SEO, that juice that you have, because you're encouraging more people to visit your website. Google will see that and it will tell more people to go. It kind of piles on top of one another. So that's strategy number 2, offer value to potential and existing clients that you have throughout your website. Strategy 3 is offer those downloadable opt-ins, downloadable content, freebies, those irresistible freebies that I'm always talking about. What is this? This is something that you can offer to a potential client who's visiting your website and they aren't exactly ready to work with you, but you don't want them to lose touch because when someone visits your website, most likely they're not going to come back on their own. So what you want to do is offer them something super valuable in return for their email address, where you can start emailing them to continue the conversation and build that know, like, and trust factor. So by offering these irresistible freebies, you can share that content out with the world. And by doing so, this can do a couple of things. It can generate those leads, like I said, and it increases engagement and it increases the amount of people, the traffic going to your website. Because when you spend all this time creating an irresistible freebie, like I did, I created a website personality quiz and I had so much fun building out this quiz. And I think there are 6 questions that you have to answer. And at the end of the quiz, you get to know your website personality. And based on that personality, I give you 3 ways to make some easy changes to your current website to reflect your personality better. And by doing so, to make more money with your website. I spend so much time building that quiz. And then once it's done, I'm able to promote that downloadable content and I can share it out, not only with the people who are visiting my website, but I have a specific landing page about the quiz, jennybdesigns.com/quiz. And if you go there, you can take the quiz. And that is where I am sending people to. You'll notice that it is my domain. The quiz actually is hosted on Interact, a platform for quiz making. It's hosted there. But I am driving people to a page on my website with my domain to drive that traffic to my site. That is another way, having that downloadable content, those irresistible freebies, strategy number 3, to get more people to your website. The fourth one here is your blog. And your blog is so super important. It does so many things for you. It can nurture those current clients that you have, and it can nurture those potential clients that are interested in your services. It's a way for you to get found in search engines. It is just a place that you are able to share your knowledge and build your authority, and that people can see you as the expert and know that you have the answers that they're looking for. It does so many things for you. Not only that, is that when you focus on using keywords in your blog posts, you can be found more on Google and you will be found by a wider range of audience, and you will then in turn generate more traffic to your website. Now, the things that you can post content on, for me, I tend to write a lot of blog posts about the podcast, talking about what my episode is, giving my visitors some takeaways from the episode, and as well as sharing the audio from my episodes. I also do case studies. So this happens when I have a project that I complete. And I talk about this on episode 35 with Emily Aborn about ways to increase your visibility, about collaborations, about sharing case studies on your blog and being able to link to your collaborators. You have content for your blog, but at the same time, you're linking out. So you're sharing an external link and linking to a collaborator and sharing kind of that SEO juice with that person, and they're sharing it right back with you. When you are posting in your blog, it also tells Google that you're active, that you are keeping your website fresh and up to date. And when you share good content, it keeps your visitors coming back. I have put a lot of focus on my blog for the past few months and making sure that I'm really writing articles that resonate with my audiences and trying to do some keyword research and understanding what people are looking for. And just putting a little bit more strategy on my blog posts and what I'm actually writing has increased my traffic by at least 15% over the last month alone. So putting a little bit of strategy behind your blog can really increase your traffic and is a great way to drive more feet in the door. Strategy number 5. This is about leveraging other communication channels that you might not necessarily think of. And it kind of relates back to strategy number 1. The first one, great example, is my dentist's office. Every time I call them, if you happen to have a telephone that people actually call, which I don't, and a lot of online businesses that I work with don't, but some of the physical locations I work with do. If you have a hold message on there, pop your website in there. Just say if you need more information or you want to send us a message, you can visit us at. That's a great place to share your website right over there. Email signatures, we talked about this a lot before, making sure that it is in your email signatures. This is one that I have been doing, is in your invoices and billing communications. On my invoices, I make sure that I always have my website on there. I actually do also offer a referral fee for my clients who refer potential clients to me. So that's also listed on my invoice. and I have a landing page for people who want to refer clients to me. So that's twofold right there. I'm not only listing my website, but I'm actually listing a web address for people who want to share referrals with me. I'm driving people to my website. Everything that I do, I'm always thinking like, how can I drive people back to my website? How can I get more traffic? I'm interrupting this episode to ask you a question. Is your website leaving money on the table? Find out your website's true earning potential with my free website personality quiz. In just 3 minutes, you'll discover your website's distinct personality type, get 3 custom-tailored high-impact strategies to boost conversions, with actionable tips you can implement today to start seeing results. Unlock the secret to making more money from your site and take the quiz now to watch your business grow. You can find the link for the quiz down in the show notes. Now back to the episode. And the last one is printed marketing materials, like anything that you print. Like I talked about that t-shirt earlier. I put my website on that. If you have mugs, if you are doing the business cards, obviously, if you are doing a flyer, if you are participating in anything, ask if you can share your website. And you will be surprised about how many people actually forget about this. Just think, can I add my website here? Whatever you do, you want to add it. And here's a tip. You don't have to put www. Sometimes people say, oh, my website, the address is so long. Get rid of the www. People know that's a thing from the past. Actually, when you type in a web address now, you don't have to actually use the www. So just type in jennybdesigns.com and share it on everything. Obviously, you replacing your URL instead of mine, but just share it when you can. Strategy number 6, email marketing. This is something that I love and I preach about. You do need to have an email marketing list. And how do you get people on the list? By going back to that strategy number 3, that downloadable content, that irresistible freebie. You want to make sure that you are building your list, number 1, and that you are having regular communications with that email list. I send out a weekly newsletter on Thursdays. I have been doing it religiously for coming up on my 3rd year. I think I've missed maybe 4 weeks in the last 2 years. And I love emailing my list. I love sharing what's going on weekly. And I try to make it informative and give you a takeaway. Everything that I do, I try to infuse as much value into everything I send. I'm not sending sales emails. I'm not sending fluffy emails. I'm sending something with value. And it's important to me to chat with my community. Which, by the way, if you're not getting my email newsletter, you can go to jennybdesigns.com/newsletter and sign up for it. But I think that having an email newsletter that you can send to people, that you include information, so tips like I do, but that actually link back to your website. Because like I said before, when someone comes to your website, honestly, they're probably not going to come back unless they are prompted. And how would they be prompted? Most likely by either seeing something in social media or getting an email from you. And when you are sending out those emails, think about how you can send them back to your website. Is it to learn more about a service? Is it because you wrote a blog post and now you're sending an email about that thing, but you're linking them back to the blog post? For me, a lot of times I'll write about my podcast episode and link them back to my website. Think about how you can link them back to your website. And of course, don't forget about your signature. Said it before, I think it's come up in almost every single strategy, making sure you've got that website on your email marketing signature. Okay, I'm going to breeze through the rest because we've got a lot that I've chatted about and we have a few more to go. Number 7 is thinking about advertising. And I don't suggest this to everyone, but sometimes it does pay to use paid advertising strategically. And by that, I mean sometimes for some of the physical locations, the pay-per-click advertising on Google is a good choice. Other people, sometimes social media, even Facebook is a good place to use some ads, especially if you have a freebie or something that you're giving away or a low-cost item. Having some way to pay strategically to advertise and drive some clicks back to your website, sometimes it does pay off. Not in every circumstance, but it's something to think about strategically if you did want to use it. Strategy number 8 is listing yourself in as many directory listings and industry websites that you can. So important to be listed wherever you can. By having that backlink to your website, you are not only allowing people to get to your website to be found, but it's just another signal to Google that, you are a trusted website, you are a trusted source, and that they should send traffic to you. Think about what listings you could be included on. Are you in any professional associations? Make sure that you filled out your profile. If you're in any other groups, I'm in the Women Business League and in the Boston Business Women group. Make sure that you filled out your profiles and that you have your website address there and you are linking back to your website. I'll say I was on Pepperlane. I was a member before they disbanded a couple of years ago, and their search engine optimization was incredible. I was being found on that Pepperlane profile, that web page that had my web address. I was getting a fair amount of traffic from there. So you never know what is going to be listed high in the ranking. Be sure that you can utilize every single listing possible to you. Strategy number 9. This is utilizing QR codes. And what are QR codes? We probably all know what they are now. Those like little squares that kind of have the black and white lines. You'll see them a lot for menus. Sometimes I've been seeing them on TV now and the commercials, which is so crafty. But thinking about how you can use those QR codes to drive traffic. Maybe if you're having something printed and you don't want to include your full website address, have the QR code, Have a little place where someone can scan and get directly to your website. I've seen them on shirts. I've seen them on business cards. In fact, I actually use them on my business card. I list my website, but I also have that QR code for people who want a little bit easier. And think about how you can use it if you're out and giving presentations. I gave a presentation a couple of months ago, and at the end of my presentation, I had that QR code. I had to learn more about me and to take my website personality quiz, and then to get the slides from today's presentation, I had a QR code. And I did it at the end of the presentation because, we can all get distracted. You want to wait until the end, but having that QR code drives people to your website. Even if they just go while they are viewing the presentation and they don't come back to it, you're still getting that click over. Think about creative ways that you can use a QR code out and about in the world. Strategy number 10 is actually something that isn't about new traffic, but more about keeping the traffic that you have. And it is implementing internal linking. And by internal linking, I'm meaning making sure that when you're on a page on your website, that it always has a link to another page on your website. You're never having a dead end. You're never leaving someone hanging. And you most likely will be able to use these in best practice on your blog. You might have a blog post about a specific topic, and then you probably have another blog post that is on a related topic. What you want to do is make sure that you are linking people from one blog post to another. And that can be done by just writing in the body of the blog post. You might also like this blog post about whatever the topic is and then linking to it. But making sure that you're kind of creating a spider web on your website so that there never is a dead end and you're always sending someone to the next location. It keeps visitors on your website longer. And that is a really, really positive sign that you're sending to Google that you have quality content. And in turn, they'll send more people to your site. And finally, strategy number 10 is guest blogging and backlinks. And this kind of is very similar to the directory listing, but a little bit more involved. But guest blogging is having a friend who serves a similar audience. Maybe you can write a guest blog post on their blog and making sure that you have a backlink to your website. So you could write about anything that might be helpful to their audience, and then you would drive people back to your website through theirs. And thinking about building a list of collaborators that you can do this for and getting out as much as you can. This is a strategy for acquiring those quality backlinks, making sure you can get your website out there in as many places as possible and driving traffic back to your website. And there you have it. Those were 11 different ways to drive traffic to your business website and boost your sales in return. So I'm going to do a quick recap on everything. The first one is put your website on absolutely everything. The second is offer valuable resources to clients, potential clients. Third is have that downloadable content, that irresistible freebie. Fourth is blogging, making sure that you have fresh content and you're doing it regularly, whatever that means to you. 5 is thinking about ways to leverage other communication channels. Remember that phone message that I said? 6 is utilizing email marketing. 7 is possibly advertising strategically. 8 is listing in directories and on industry websites. 9 is using QR codes as creatively as possible. 10 is implementing internal linking throughout your website. And the final one is guest blogging and building backlinks. And I just want you to know that driving traffic isn't just like a one and done deal. It's an ongoing process. Like I work on this every single week. I think of what can I do to drive more traffic to your website. But the payoff is definitely worth it. I mean, more visitors to your website means more potential clients that increase brand awareness and at the end of the day, making more money with your website. And the best part is you don't have to do all of these at once. Start small, pick one or two that resonate most with your business and then gradually work to incorporate the others. I just wanted to give you like a list of all the things you could do because I knew a couple would pop into your head and you would be able to implement those easy. So remember, your website is such an important piece of the puzzle. It's your online digital store and it's open like 24/7 to those potential clients. You want to make sure you're actively driving traffic to it. And when you do so, you open the doors for immense growth and opportunities. So thank you so much for listening, and I will chat with you next time. And that wraps up another episode of Website Design Made Simple. I hope you found the insights shared in this episode valuable and takes you one step closer to creating a website that attracts more of your ideal clients and builds your brand. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. Your review will help us reach more small business owners like you who are ready to make more money with their website. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.